Hey, so if you're like me, because I'm cheap, frugal, whatever you want to call it, I don't like to spend money if I don't have to. Been kind of intrigued with dash cams for a while. I had one like years ago. I got it was from eBay. It was, yeah, it really wasn't. I mean, it sounded good on paper. The screen was, God, it was small. It was like 1 inch by 1 inch. Saved everything onto an SD card. It wasn't exactly cheap at the time. I think it was like $50. And this was in 2013 dollars, so it's probably be about $75 now. They're a lot cheaper than that for the same thing. You can get dash cams off Amazon and eBay from anywhere from like $35, $40. You know, something that is halfway usable, up to hundreds and thousands of dollars if you go to a high-end one like a GoPro or I think Whistler makes one, Cobra makes one. Some of those, you know, more higher-end auto technology brands. But I didn't want to spend that type of money because I'm cheap. So I started thinking about it, and I don't know about you, but most people have a drawer with their old cell phones in them. And I thought, Scott, I wonder if you can repurpose an old cell phone as a dash cam. I mean, they have cameras on them, they record videos. So you should be able to do that, right? Turns out, yes, you can. So I had an old iPhone 5C. Yes, that is the shittiest iPhone that you probably could ever get. I got it from, I think, in 2010. And I used it all the way up until 2000, I don't remember, 2015, when the iPhone 6 came out. Actually, for a while after the iPhone 6 came out. So I used it, and then finally Karen convinced me that I needed a better phone. Than the iPhone 5 that I had. So I got a refurbished iPhone 6 off eBay. Turns out that was not unlocked. It became a big nightmare when I switched carriers. Different story, different time. Actually, I think I talk about it later on. But anyway, so this iPhone 5C, 16 gig, been sitting in the drawer. Haven't used it for anything. Turns out you can use it for a security camera too. I'll show you that in another video. But I just decided to say, well, let's see if I can use it for a dash cam. So I went into the App Store. I did a factory restore on the phone. It has no SIM card in it. It does not have any service. It is just a phone. Like you use it for an iPod, or if you ever needed to swap back in, you could. That's an iPhone 5, so it can't go up to. It only stops at, I think, iOS 12, and it. Something about the 64-bit, 32-bit, issue, and that's no longer supported by Apple. So it's been sitting there. So I just had to grab it and see what I can do with it. So if you go on to, you can take your phone, and I bet you can do this with an old phone. I'm not an Android phone person. I've just had the iPhones, well, since iPhone 2. I like my iPhones. I'm not an Apple person in my job. We are a Microsoft, or at least my side of the house is all Microsoft. So my regular computers are Windows systems. I've never really messed around too much with the Apple OS, Mac OS. I did have a MacBook Pro for a little while, and I do run Linux on one of my computers, but I'm not really an Apple fanboy, and I'm cheap, so I don't go out and buy the latest, greatest Apple product when it comes out. I do have an iPad mini, which I love. Karen bought it for me for Christmas a couple of years ago, and it's an awesome little, awesome little tablet. I really love I really love it. And I have an iPhone X now that is my regular phone. And the only reason why when I switched carriers and I stopped using the 6, they do not go with an Android, even though they can get one a lot cheaper, is I have an Apple Watch. And I love my Apple Watch. Now I am starting to sound like a fanboy, aren't I? Anyway, I love my Apple Watch, so I decided I would get another iPhone. So I ended up getting a refurbished X off eBay. It was like $400. It was unlocked, and very, very pleased with it. Stop for a school bus here. The reason why I didn't use my iPhone 6 for this, even though it would have been nicer because it has a better camera and a bigger screen, because Karen's battery was getting weak in her iPhone 6 she had, and so I decided that I would test my skills on replacing the battery myself with using my 6, and it went well. I learned how to do it. Fortunately, in the process, I was throwing it together quickly when I got done and screwed it up. I did not screw up her phone though when I did it, and I was able to replace the battery in her phone, and she was happy with it until hers was just a 6 and not a 6S, until it hit its end of life, and now she has an iPhone SE, which is another story. I seem to say that a lot, don't I? It's another story. Well, it gives me a lot of content to share with you, huh, right? So, I got my 5. I hit the App Store with Wi-Fi, searched for dashcam, found a dashcam app that was free, downloaded, installed it. I'm actually using it now to record this. So yes, you can use the selfie camera with it. You will see in the next stretch of video here that I use the other side of it. I'm recording as a dash cam. So you can use, and so the cost, I bought a mount. Actually bought the mount for Ducky, but I'm using it here. I'll get another one for Ducky. The mount I got from Amazon was $11. And it has worked well so far. So I have, my iPhone set up now as a dash cam. I haven't caught anything really cool on it, but again, I'm not spending, $50, $100, a couple $100 on a dash cam that may never capture anything. I'm reusing my old phone, and on top of that, it's keeping the phone out of the landfill. The lithium batteries, even though lithium comes out of the earth, it's really bad to put it back in. So I'm recycling, which kind of works with, our whole mantra in the house is kind of do no harm, try to reuse, not waste. So yeah, it actually worked out really well. I think maybe if I can finagle it out of her hands, I might have to actually buy her a new phone because she hates her SE. I might be able to snag Karen's iPhone 6 and use that for one, which would be kind of cool because I put that with Ducky. I'm really looking forward to doing some dash cam footage with Ducky, which is why I kind of wanted to try this out. It was not more for my daily driving, but was more for adventures with Ducky. So yeah, that should be kind of cool. Kind of looking forward to that shit. So, alright, so like I said, I downloaded this. There's a bunch of them that you can choose from. I will show you, which one I picked. You can pick other ones. If you got an old iPhone, just make sure it does support your OS. This is a iPhone, like I said, iPhone 5C. It stops at OS 12, maybe 5 or something like that. And this application obviously works on it. It's free. It is ad driven. There's a little ad down on the bottom. You can unlock more features by paying for it. I might actually do that. We'll see how that works. but there's a bunch of them out there. And if you try to, download it on a phone that doesn't support it, it's not supported, it'll tell you. First one I picked, it said, sorry, you need iOS 13 or higher. I also did install it on my iPhone X. It works really brilliantly with that. But as I mentioned later on in the video, all right, so I'm in my car here. My car has Apple Play, Apple CarPlay. And so when you turn on the camera, it shuts off the music. So that kind of sucks. Here I got my tunes going in the background, got a little shine down going on. And I'm not quite sure how it would work with a phone call, but I'm pretty sure it would kick off the dash cam. You got a phone call. The videos are stored on the phone. They don't take up a lot of space. But, I'd much rather use my phone space for pictures that I take and videos that I make, and not a bunch of videos of back roads of Maine. So in a pinch, I have used it on my X. It does work well, but you might want to give this a try and see what you think. So I'm going to switch over now to the mechanics of getting this set up and show you how it works out. Okay, so what I've done is I've into my USB port here in my car, plugged it in to the phone, and then mounted the phone on the dashboard. Have the software all installed. That is a belly bong case that I have on it. I love the cases. I've used them for years, starting with like my first iPhone 4. They're really durable. They're inexpensive. Again, they're really durable. A little bit bulky. Not something you want to slide into your pocket, probably, if you're wearing tight-fitting clothes. But for me up here in Maine, it's worked out really well. I've bounced it off the ground I don't know how many times and never had a phone break. So, and next I'll just zoom in so you can take a look at the configuration and the screen, and then we'll start recording. All right, so here it is all set up on my dash. I'm using a inexpensive cell phone mount from Amazon. You can pick them up just about anywhere. I think I paid like $11 for that. It's kind of nice because it telescopes. If you have a deep dashboard and short arms like I have. So that works out well for me. So I think my total investment on this, since the phone was obviously long paid for and I had the power cable, is $11. Not too bad. Now to start recording, you just press that little blue camera icon over on the right. You can take snapshots. You can put on stability control, turn off stability control, autofocus, turn the microphone on and off, do a map overlay. I'm just going to keep it simple, just set it up with the defaults here. So it records for 2 minutes, saves the file, starts recording again. When you hit record, like so, it turns red, and then you get a little lock icon down in the bottom, and that allows you to lock that file if you need to for any reason. Something cool happened or something dangerous happened, or you just want to save the file, do that lock to prevent it from being overwritten. So it saves the file every 2 minutes, and then starts up a new file. And it as the phone starts filling up, then it will delete the oldest file that isn't locked and continue on. So I'll do a little short trip through town here and show you how it looks when I get back and save it and all of that. But it's pretty cool, pretty cheap, not too bad. Great way to keep the phone, used phones out of the landfill, save you from having to spend any money. So I like it. It's worked out so well so far for me. And yeah, well, I'll catch up with you once I get home and we've got something to look at, right? So I would say this was a pretty worthwhile hack, doing this. It works out pretty well. Yeah, the video quality is not super high when you move it over to the computer. I'm curious to see how this one looks, and I'm going to do a little short drive here in a second. I just kicked the video quality up to high from medium. Gives you 480 and 480p and 720p as options as well. But I'm just going to go with high, see how it affects the file sizes and the quality. Granted, our roads here suck, and as you can see, it bounces around a lot. It does pick up the ambient noise in the car. That rattle you hear is my emergency lights. They're not really securely mounted. Oops. I do have to get to that eventually. I just know not to like do a jackrabbit start because they end up in my lap, and that really kind of sucks. But otherwise, I've been pretty pleased. I'm actually quite thrilled with this. So, can you do a dash cam with an old iPhone or Android phone, a mount, cheap mount, and free software? Yes, you can. Yeah, pretty fucking awesome. It is. I'm pretty impressed. So this would I definitely give a good job, pat on the back. So hopefully you can found this useful. Give me a second here. I'm going to switch this over to the other camera, do a little recording on the higher video quality, and then we'll say goodbye. Alright, so we switched it over to the other higher video quality. You do have to stop recording to switch camera views, just like you would if you were using the phone regular. I don't see that as a drawback. In the application, it's more of a drawback with your hardware, with your phone, or your OS. Adjust this, because I had adjusted so that it was looking at me. Yeah, you can hear that rattle. Yeah, it's not quite as bad. So I'm curious to see if the quality of this is better. My mount came off because of the weather change. It got really warm today. It's like 45 degrees. And I think yesterday it was 15. So we're talking about like a 30-degree shift. So when I came out this morning, my mount was sitting, this afternoon my mount was sitting on the dashboard. So I put it on. And I don't think I put it in the same place, even though it looks like I did. So you're catching a little bit of the mount in the video there, which was not how it was. You can see earlier, you only got a little bit of it. It does kind of block the view a little bit. Again, that's not the fault of the mount. That's not the fault of the process. That's the fault of the idiot on this side, on the in the driver's seat, not getting it set up quite the same way. We'll fix that later. So overall, hoping the video quality on this is better than the other videos. You can see you get your miles per hour, you get timestamp on the bottom. You can do a map overlay. So this has been pretty cool. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you like, subscribe, please. Share them with your friends if it's something you think that they might be interested in. And I'm still kind of trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this channel. I'm trying a couple of things and just kind of seeing where things fall. But no matter what, I think this little hack was cool enough that I would have shared it no matter what I was doing. So, yeah. Thanks. I appreciate you. Stay safe. Love your family and friends. Be good to yourself. You have one life. Make the most out of it. All right? Take care.